Hi, Mrs. Gowdy here. Today we're going to talk about how to divide fractions. So let's say I want to divide this fraction here. I've got a whole number of 3 and I want to divide it by 1/4. Just like I did in multiplying, I want my first step to always be to make a fraction. When I say make a fraction is I want to check both my numbers and see are they both fractions with a numerator and denominator. This number is a fraction, this number is not. So just like we did when multiplying, I'm going to put this number over 1. And we've talked a lot about why we do that. It's because when we put it over 1, we don't change the value of it, we just change the way it looks. Because this is saying 3 divided by 1, we know it's just 3. So we didn't change what it's worth at all. When I divide fractions, I use a little trick called keep, switch, flip. Here's how it works. Starting with this number, I keep it. That's the first step in keep, switch, flip. Keep it the same. So I keep it. My next step is switch. I switch this division sign to a multiplication sign. So I'm going to do that right here. I'm going to change it, switch it from division to multiplication. And my last step is to flip. When I say flip, I mean I'm going to flip these numbers upside down. So this 4 is going to go up top and this 1 is going to go on the bottom. This has another name though. We call it flip, but the real name for it is called the reciprocal. For example, let's take this fraction we had. 1/4 is a reciprocal of 1. All right. We kept the first number. We switched the division sign to a multiplication sign, and we flipped this last fraction upside down. Keep, switch, flip. We will be using this a lot, so I suggest you remember that. All right, now we're left with this multiplication problem, and this is something we're really familiar with from last week. When I multiply fractions, I multiply the numerators, and then I multiply the denominators. So let's see what happens if I do that. 3 times 4 is 12, and 1 times 1 is 1. So here's my final answer here. I need to do some thinking to make sure it's its best form. What do we know about fractions that have a 1 on the bottom? For example, remember at the beginning when we put this whole number 3 over 1? 3 divided by 1 is 3. 12 divided by 1 is 12. It's the same thing that we kind of did in the beginning. Really, 12 over 1 is just 12. So the proper way to write this is just to remove that because it's a whole number. Okay, I can't simplify that anymore because it's a whole number. So my final answer is 3 times 1/4 is 12. Let's try another one now. All right, what if I wanted to multiply this number here? I have another whole number. I want to multiply 2/3. And I want to multiply it by 4. My first step is to make a fraction. So let's check and make sure that all these numbers are fractions. This number is a fraction. This number is not. It is a whole number. To make it a fraction, I put it over 1. Now both of my numbers are fractions. Except I'm dividing this. Both of my numbers are fractions. Okay, my next step is to keep, switch, and flip. So I'm going to write a K for keep, S for switch, and F for flip. And then I'm going to check it off each time I do it. This fraction I keep. Done. This sign I switch. I switch it to a multiplication sign. Done. This fraction I flip. So I need to flip it or make a reciprocal. So I had 4 over 1. I'm going to flip it and change it to 1 over 4. Done. I flipped it. I I did keep, I did switch, I did flip. Now my last step is to multiply my numerators and multiply my denominators. 2 times 1 gives me a new numerator of 2, and 3 times 4 gives me a new denominator of 12. We need to think about if this is our best answer, good, better, best. Is there any way I can simplify this? Is there anything I need to do to it? Think to yourself, is there anything I can simplify this fraction by? Well, I know that I can divide 2 and 12 by 2. This is going to simplify my fraction. So if I do 2 divided by 2, that gives me 1. And 12 divided by 2, that gives me 6. Can I simplify this fraction anymore? I can't, so this means this is my final answer. Your job today on your assignment is to go to Google Slides for Monday, and you are going to do the digital assignment there using keep, switch, flip. I'll put another video on just in case you get stuck that you can go back and watch. If you have a whole number, don't forget it needs to go over 1 and then use keep, switch, flip, simplify. Good job today.